Hello, welcome to Invictus Porsche. Today we have with us a Porsche 911 991.1 CarreraS. This is in agate grey metallic and it has the 20-inch Carrera Classic Edition 2 alloys. Porsche enthusiasts often debate which 911 is the last real 911. We can't tell you which 911 is the last real 911. But what we can tell you is that the Porsche 991.1 Carrera marks the end of an era which lasted for more than 50 years. The 991.1 Carrera is the last 911 with a naturally aspirated flat 6 engine. We have summarized the most important facts for you and want to give you a small guide for a purchase decision. And that being, yes, it's a slightly longer and a wider car, and there's some criticism attached to the fact that it is more of a Grand Tourer. And I agree with the fact that it is longer and wider, but I don't agree with the fact that it is necessarily a Grand Tourer, because should you want it to be a Grand Tourer and a comfortable car, you can drive it as per that. But should you want to get some experience or a thrill out of it, then it is suitable for exactly that purpose. But the biggest achievement of the Porsche 991.1 CarreraS is the mind-boggling balance between comfort, usability and performance. On the famous Nordschleife, the Porsche 991.1 CarreraS with its lap time of 7 minutes and 40 seconds is exactly as fast as the 997 GT3. The figure alone shows how much of a step forward the Porsche 991 was. Purists may have criticized that the 991 is more of a Grand Tourer, but that impression has nothing to do with the sheer speed of the thing. Maybe that's just a misconception due to the outstanding refinement of the 991. We've already covered that this is in the sought-after agate grey metallic paint color with 20-inch Carrera Classic Edition 2 alloys. It has the Xenon Plus corner dynamic lights with parking sensors at the front and at the rear. It also has sport suspension, Porsche active dynamic engine mounts, sports exhaust, and again a really desirable item, which is the limited rear slip differential. And I think these are just some of the aspects that makes this car so desirable. Let's get on the inside so I can explain a couple of the spec on the inside. Inside you've got the sought-after sport steering wheel all wrapped in leather with cruise control. And I love the fact this is the PDK and not the manual, because I think the PDK gives you the best of both worlds. In terms of the interior spec, I mean, this place is just filled with extra optionals, such as having the Chrono Sports Plus package by having the watch, as well as having the Sport Plus button and the PASM button. By pressing the Porsche Active Suspension Management button, it stiffens your dampers. And you know, not to forget, having the sports exhaust button actually makes me smile. Oh, when I actually see it in any 911, just having the luxury of something like that is, you know, out of this world. In terms of the seats, this is the four-way adjustable sports seats, which are also heated. And because of the refinement that the 991 has been through, you actually get a little bit more space on the rear of these 911s. And as you can see, I'm actually sitting in here at the back quite comfortably, and that's, you know, that's me being about 5'9". The universal media interface is touchscreen. It allows you to have mobile Bluetooth connectivity both for your music as well as for picking and dropping calls. It also has the European navigation system, and in terms of the sound system, this has the Bose sound system, so hopefully, you know, you can listen to good quality music through it. There are a few other extra software optionals, but I think we'll spend all day if I started to list every single optional. I mean, this is one of those cars that needs to be seen to be truly appreciated. Now let's talk about the engine, and to talk about the engine we've got to come to the back of the vehicle, behind the rear axle, to see what's going on here. And as I said at the beginning of the video, this is a 3.8 litre engine. It's a naturally aspirated flat 6, and they don't make 911s with an engine like this anymore. And now in terms of performance, well, there isn't much of an engine that you can see out here at the back aside from two fans and the top of area for engine oil and coolant. But what it does produce is 400 brake horsepower, 440 Newton meters of torque. The 0 to 62 miles per hour is possible in 4.3 seconds. The total curb weight is 1,510 kilograms. And in terms of MPG, if you're environmentally conscious, this can produce anywhere between 32 mpg to 42 mpg. So that means you wouldn't be out of pocket. What does it drive like? Well, it's absolutely phenomenal. And if you left it in the standard settings and didn't press any of these buttons and just let it do what it did by just pressing the accelerator a little bit, there's an argument to be had that it drives like a Grand Tourer. But that's because you want to drive it like a Grand Tourer. But if you press the accelerator at about 30%, just listen to that sound. It's absolutely phenomenal. And how it handles around corners is out of this world. And the balance it's able to give you through high-speed corners is beyond, recognition. And in some ways, in terms of the refinement and how a Porsche 911 has evolved, in my opinion, up to its time, and having a truly naturally aspirated flat six engine, this is the best one can have. If you press the sports exhaust button and the sports button, I hope you can hear how good this sounds. This is music to anyone's ears. It's genuinely out of this world how good it sounds. And obviously by pressing the sports button, it holds the revs there for a bit longer and gives you that gruntier and punchier sound, and also allows you to drive it in a slightly more aggressive manner. And some people like to drive their cars like that all the time. And there's one thing I'd like to say, that this is probably one of those cars that have not been used and abused like some of the other 911 examples that you would find. This has 4 owners since new, and the 4th owner currently has owned it from early 2018. It has got a full Porsche service history. All of it is with Porsche Centre Nottingham. And the last major service was done in February 2020. So meaning that the next service is actually not due for another 20,000 miles or 2 years, which is due in February 2022. So hopefully this gives you the peace of mind that not only this is a good example of a 911 with everything that you want from a spec perspective, a performance, but also the owners and the service history. Because the service history to many people is absolutely key, and having a full Porsche service history would hopefully put many people's mind at ease. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and watch out for the next one. Bye.